Are you someone that struggles returning the flick serve? Do you feel like you always have to clear, or you can never play a good shot? Well, if so, this video is for you, as we're going to share 9 things that could be ruining your return of the flick serve. So let's get straight into it.
Return ruiners 1, 2 and 3 are all about your starting position. Because yes, some of you are getting it wrong before your opponent has even served.
Yeah, so return ruiner number 1 is the most basic one of this video, and that is having your legs the wrong way round. Your non-racket leg needs to be in front, and this is so you're already in the correct position to move backwards. If you start with your racket leg in front, you don't have the time to change your feet around, so you'll end up taking it late or playing a backhand, because that's what's easiest to do from this position.
And this is exactly what happened to the partner of one of our subscribers, Kai. Because his feet are the wrong way round, the shuttle hasn't even reached him yet and he's already having to take a backhand.
Now Kai's partner unfortunately did our second return ruiner too, and that is not having the correct body weight distribution. As you can see, his body weight is pretty neutral, but we'd recommend that actually around 80% of your body weight should be going through your front leg, so you're able to explode either forwards or backwards.
And speaking of exploding backwards, the third thing that could be ruining your return of the flick serve is pointing your front foot in the wrong direction. Exactly where you have it is down to your personal preference and can range from very angled to fairly straight. But the important thing is to have it sideways enough to engage your glutes and therefore have a more explosive push-off. And you know what else will help you push off explosively? Our Badminton-Specific Weights Programmes available at badminton-insight.com.
Yeah, there are 12 different programmes available, all designed specifically for badminton players, and you guys have been loving them so far. So, if you want to get faster, stronger, and more explosive on court, as well as minimising the risk of injury, then check them out by clicking the top link in the description below.
Okay, moving on to return ruiner number 4, and this is all about your racket preparation. Let's compare 2 clips. If you start with your racket out to the side, you have a very long way to move your arm to reach high flick serves to your round the head. It's also almost impossible to react to the flat flick serve to your backhand. So instead, we'd recommend starting in a neutral bevel grip and having your racket out in front of your body in around this position.
Now you might be thinking, some pro players don't stand exactly like this, but they generally have the ability to react really fast and make the necessary adjustments no matter where the serve goes.
Return ruiner number 5 is your movement to your round the head side, and this is where most players go wrong. From having too many steps, to trying to do one big leap, to trying to almost run backwards. But what should you do?
Well, as soon as you see your opponent has flicked, you push off from your front foot. After the push off, you do a quick mini step like this, moving both feet slightly backwards. Or if you're very explosive, you can jump straight away, especially if it's a flatter flick. You then push off from your non-racket leg, quickly followed by pushing off your racket leg. This fast sequence enables you to do a scissor kick movement and rotate into the shot, helping you to add more power.
Now, you might be thinking, should I always do this scissor kick movement? Well, as you might have guessed, your footwork will need to change depending on your opponent's flick. And this brings us on to return ruiner number 6. So let's show you what to do in the 4 different scenarios that you'll face. First, if the flick is out wide to your round the head side or down the line on the other side, always try and use a scissor kick. Unless of course it's a flat drive serve, in which case you can either switch to a backhand or take it round the head, whatever you find easier.
Now, if it's to your forehand side, it depends on the height of the flick. If it's a flat flick, then you can jump out. But if it's a high flick, then you can also use the scissor kick again. Using the jump out, by the way, is a great choice that works even if you're not that explosive. Here, you do an extra chassé and a smaller jump. You'll find this technique helps you take the shuttle much earlier and also recover better afterwards.
And yes, sometimes you will get caught out by the flick and be forced to take it late. If this is the case, then you might need to use a step out, a big lean, or even a backhand on your round the head side. And if you are struggling for explosive power, then you might want to give up the ego and move your starting position back a little to reduce the distance that you have to move.
So that's the movements you should do. But what shot should you actually hit when you're there? Well, a lot of players choose the wrong shot, but hopefully we're about to make it pretty simple for you.
Hopefully. Basically, anywhere that feels more natural for you to hit to is good, as long as it's not to your opponent's racket. Everyone will have different preferences. For example, from a flick out wide to our round the head sides, Jenny usually plays a straight smash, but I nearly always play it cross. So the sides are great, as is playing down the middle, and even drop shots if they're stood far back. Just remember, don't hit to their rackets.
Now, if you're not in a good position on either side, then a clear is probably your best bet. And this brings us on to return ruiner number 8, not clearing when you need to.
Yeah, a lot of people are afraid of using the clear. However, it's a great shot when you're in trouble. This is because it allows you to reset the rally, rather than giving your opponents an easy opportunity to counter-attack either a weak smash or drop. If they're a good player, they'll have noticed you taking it late and will be stepping forwards looking to counter-attack.
But to be clear, a clear isn't always easy to do. Because you're moving backwards and don't have much time to get behind the shuttle and rotate, you need to create power in a relatively short action using your forearm and fingers. And generating power like this is actually what you want to be doing on your attacking returns too, because again, you often won't be fully behind the shuttle. So rather than using a normal smash, you have to arch your back, bend your wrist, and use a short, snappy motion. This generates power and angle with limited upper body rotation.
Now, in at number 9 on the list of things ruining your return is having a bad recovery after you've hit your shot. The first thing we need to mention here is that the return of the flick serve is one of the least controlled movements in badminton. So don't worry if you're a little off balance, it's not always going to look pretty.
So, after you've hit the shuttle, you want to land on your back leg, which is your racket leg for a jump out and non-racket leg for a scissor kick. This will absorb most of the landing force and act as a brake. But if your opponent has played a good flick serve and you're moving backwards really fast, you might find that you need to take another step backwards to steady yourself, and this is okay.
Think of it like a car suddenly slamming on the brakes. It will often skid because it's going too fast for the brakes to work properly. And this is the same case here. Even if your brakes are quite good, you might need an extra step or two. And again, this is okay as long as you recover quickly back into court, and ideally you've hit a good enough shot so that it's a winner, or so that your opponents can only hit up to your partner at the net who's there to take the glory.
Yeah, so hopefully you can use the tips we've shared in this video to avoid ruining your return and instead help you revolutionise your return. Once you've done this, your opponents won't want to flick you as much, and you can then apply more pressure to their more frequent low serves instead.
The Badminton-Specific Weights Programmes that we've mentioned will be linked in the description below. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure you smash the subscribe button and we'll hopefully see you on another video very soon. Maybe this one here.